Welcome to Parables and Prophets. Today, we journey back to the pastoral hills of Bethlehem, where our tale begins with a young shepherd named David. In the heart of the ancient land of Israel, amid the soft bleating of sheep and the rustling of olive trees, lived David, a boy of simple beginnings. He was the youngest of 8 sons, born into a family of shepherds. His days were filled with the humble tasks of tending to his father's flock, leading them to green pastures and still waters under the wide open skies. His life was a symphony of simplicity, a testament to his humble beginnings. Yet beneath this veneer of simplicity, David was not just another shepherd boy. His heart held a deep and abiding faith, a flame that would not be extinguished. His soul was a wellspring of devotion, his spirit in constant communion with the divine. Amidst the silence of the fields and the stillness of the nights, David found a profound connection with God. His psalms, composed under the starlit canopy, echoed his unwavering faith and profound devotion. In this seemingly ordinary shepherd lad, God saw a future king. His heart, pure and faithful, was chosen by the divine to lead the nation of Israel. And so, in the quiet privacy of his home, the young shepherd was anointed by the venerable prophet Samuel. The holy oil trickling down David's forehead marked the beginning of a destiny, a divine appointment that transcended his humble existence. David, however, continued his life with the same simplicity and humility. His identity as God's chosen one tucked away in the recesses of his heart. He returned to his sheep, his fields, his psalms, unaware of the great journey that lay ahead. His faith, stronger than ever, was his compass, guiding him through the labyrinth of life towards a destiny he was yet to fully comprehend. Unbeknownst to the young shepherd, his life was about to take a remarkable turn. From the quiet hills of Bethlehem, David was thrust into the spotlight on a battlefield, facing a seemingly unbeatable giant. This was where the young shepherd boy David found himself standing in the shadow of a towering behemoth named Goliath. Goliath, the Philistine champion, stood over 9 feet tall, a colossal figure armored in bronze and iron. He had challenged the Israelites to send out a champion to decide the outcome of the war in single combat. But no one dared to face him. No one, that is, until David, the youngest son of Jesse, stepped forward. What could have possibly motivated David, a shepherd with no military experience, to face such a formidable opponent? The answer is simple yet profound: unwavering faith. David believed in the power of God, and he knew that with God on his side, he could overcome any challenge, even a giant. Armed with only a sling and 5 smooth stones from the brook, David approached Goliath. He rejected the king's armor, saying, "I cannot go in these, for I am not used to them." Instead, he placed his trust in God, declaring, "You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty." As Goliath moved closer to attack, David ran quickly toward the battle line to meet him. He took out a stone, slung it, and struck the Philistine on the forehead. Goliath fell face down on the ground. A shepherd boy with a sling and a stone had defeated a giant warrior. This pivotal event marked the beginning of David's rise to prominence. His victory over Goliath demonstrated his faith, courage, and God's favor upon him, setting the stage for his eventual ascension as king of Israel. With a single stone, a shepherd boy defeated a giant, and his life would never be the same. This story of David and Goliath serves as a powerful reminder that with faith and God's guidance, even the most daunting challenges can be overcome. In the royal court of King Saul, David found an unexpected ally, the king's own son, Jonathan. A bond was formed between these 2 young men, one that transcended the ordinary. You see, Jonathan, the rightful heir to the throne, recognized something in David, something divine. He saw in David a leader chosen by God, and in a display of selfless friendship, Jonathan pledged his loyalty to David, not his father's throne. Their friendship was more than just camaraderie. It was a covenant, a sacred bond. Jonathan, knowing David's divine destiny, gifted him his royal attire, his sword, his bow, and his belt. This was not just an exchange of gifts, but a symbolic passing of the torch, a humble acceptance of God's will by Jonathan. Now, imagine this for a moment. David, the shepherd boy, now adorned in the royal attire of the prince, carrying the prince's sword and bow. He was no longer just a shepherd. He was a shepherd destined to be a king. All thanks to an unlikely friendship. But as David's popularity grew, so did King Saul's envy and paranoia. The king saw David not as a loyal servant, but as a threat to his throne. The palace walls echoed with whispers of intrigue and conspiracy, and the tension was palpable. Yet, in the midst of this looming danger, the friendship between David and Jonathan remained unscathed, undeterred. Jonathan, torn between his duty to his father and his loyalty to his friend, chose the path of righteousness. He stood by David, warning him of his father's intentions, thus saving his life. This friendship, shaped by loyalty, tested by royal intrigue, and forged in the fires of adversity, played a pivotal role in David's journey. It taught him the value of loyalty, the power of righteousness, and the essence of leadership. In the midst of palace intrigue, a friendship was forged that would withstand the test of time and circumstances. A testament to the power of friendship, the story of David and Jonathan continues to inspire us even today. From the palace's warmth, David found himself in the wilderness, a fugitive running from King Saul's wrath. This was a period of uncertainty and hardship, a stark contrast from his earlier days as a beloved hero. Yet, it was during this time that David's faith was truly put to the test, and his true character shone the brightest. David was pursued relentlessly by King Saul, who was driven by jealousy and fear. Despite the relentless pursuit and the numerous challenges he faced, David did not falter. He remained steadfast, leaning on his faith for strength and guidance. It was during these trying times that David penned many of the Psalms, which serve as a testament to his unwavering faith and his deep reliance on God. His journey was not just about survival. It was about integrity and respect for authority. He had two opportunities to kill Saul, who was not only his pursuer, but also the anointed king. But David chose not to. Instead, he cut off a piece of Saul's robe to show that he had the chance to kill him, but chose not to. "The Lord forbid that I should do such a thing to my master, the Lord's anointed, or lay my hand on him, for he is the anointed of the Lord," said David, showing his deep respect for God's appointed king. David's time as a fugitive was filled with trials and tribulations, but it was also a time of growth. It was a time when his faith was honed and his character built. He learned to trust in God's timing, to respect authority, and to remain humble in the face of adversity. In the wilderness, stripped of worldly comforts, David's true strength was revealed, a strength not of brawn, but of spirit, a strength not drawn from his status or his victories, but from his unwavering faith in God. Even in the wilderness, David's faith remained unshaken, and his heart true to his God. His time as a fugitive was not a period of defeat, but rather a testament to his enduring faith and unwavering commitment to God's path. In the fullness of time, the shepherd boy from Bethlehem ascended to the throne, becoming the king of Israel. David, the young lad who once tended his father's sheep, now found himself leading a nation. But his journey was far from over. David's reign was marked by remarkable victories, but also deep struggles. Under his leadership, Israel expanded its territories, secured its borders, and grew in prosperity. He was a warrior king, defeating the Philistines, Moabites, and Ammonites, among others. Yet, his victories on the battlefield were not without cost. David knew the heavy toll of war, the immense responsibility of leadership, and the loneliness that often accompanies power. But what set David apart was not his military might, but his heart for God. He was a man after God's own heart, a man who sought God's will in all things. David penned many of the Psalms, songs of praise, lament, confession, and petition, giving us a unique insight into his spiritual journey. Through these intimate expressions, we see a man who, despite his flaws, continually turned to God for wisdom, strength, and forgiveness. David was no saint. He had his share of sins, most notably his affair with Bathsheba, and his subsequent conspiracy to murder her husband Uriah. These actions brought severe consequences, causing turmoil in his family and his kingdom. Yet, when confronted by the prophet Nathan, David did not deny his guilt. He repented, accepting God's judgment with a contrite heart. His repentance shows us that even kings are human, prone to error, but also capable of seeking forgiveness and making amends. From a shepherd to a king, David's life was a testament to God's faithfulness and guidance. His story teaches us that greatness is not defined by power or success, but by our heart's alignment with God's will. It reminds us that even in our imperfections, our struggles, and our mistakes, God can and will use us for His purposes if we seek Him earnestly. David's life was a tapestry of faith, courage, friendship, and leadership, woven together by God's providential hand. From his humble beginnings as a shepherd boy, David's life was a testament to the power of faith. His victory over Goliath was not just a triumph of physical strength, but of spiritual fortitude. David's faith allowed him to face what seemed like insurmountable odds with bravery and conviction. His friendship with Jonathan, a bond that transcended social status and personal ambition, spoke volumes about his character. David was not only a man of faith and courage, but also of deep loyalty and love. This friendship was a beacon of light in the midst of the trials and tribulations that marked his journey. As a fugitive, David faced numerous challenges that tested his faith and resolve. Yet, it was during these trying times that his reliance on God's guidance was most evident. His experiences served as a reminder that even in our darkest moments, we are never alone. God's presence is a constant source of comfort and guidance. David's kingship was not just a position of power, but a platform for service. His leadership was marked by humility, wisdom, and a commitment to uphold God's laws. Despite his failures and shortcomings, his heart remained aligned with God's will. David's life was a journey filled with ups and downs, victories and defeats, joys and sorrows. Yet, through it all, he remained steadfast in his faith and committed to serving God and his people. His story serves as a powerful reminder of God's providence and the transformative power of faith. So, as we reflect on David's life, let's remember that, like him, we too are part of a larger tapestry woven by God's hand. Our lives, much like David's, are a blend of triumphs and trials, joys and sorrows. But through faith and reliance on God's guidance, we can face any challenge and emerge victorious. Thank you for watching. If you found this video inspiring, please like, share, and subscribe for more biblical insights. Until next time, may God's blessings be with you.